Hello everyone, welcome to the last Bitcoin market analysis for this week, at least the daily one. And tomorrow, as usual, I'm going to have my Saturday Bitcoin market analysis. That's a live stream where you also have the opportunity to play some questions. I'm going to stream on YouTube and directly on my Discord server. So feel free to join us. Well, let us start with the weights ratio as usual, and today I'm going to start with the daily time frame. As you can see, we are still maintaining very good here our trend line, and as we have seen in the last time, we bounced there and went up again. And meanwhile, the weights ratio is keeps lifting up. We see if we take the 30 days moving average, we can see that very well. That is lifting up even more, indicating more whales Bitcoins arriving to exchanges. At the same time, we see here that since mid of February, that was actually here, the stablecoin reserves on exchanges has declined and it's still in such kind of downward trend. So that's indicating that people are, yeah, just selling their assets and taking out from the exchanges stablecoins. And that's, in my opinion, the worst case. This combination is not the best one, is when also the stablecoin supply is in a downward trend, because that's indicating those guys here just sent some of their stablecoins to the treasury, and the treasury is burning all these stablecoins because just due to the less demand or lack of demand. So that's absolutely not good for the market. The net flow, well, we had those 30,000 outflows just a few days ago, and that's now, well, a little bit more. That's 1 week, and since then, nothing more really big happened. But yeah, it looks more red than green, indicating more inflows than outflows. But be careful here because the net flow is showing us the total in and outflows, so the total net flow, not separating between spot exchanges and derivative. So let us take a look what's happening here. That's the 1 hour time frame, and I'm going to use here as well the 30 hours moving average. So here indicating we maintained here a little bit, the level dropped a little bit, and since then it seems it's rising. However, we are still showing here that's a big, or at least a high level. So whales are still sending more and more bitcoins to the exchanges. Also here to the exchanges, not separating between derivative and spot. And at the same time, we have here the yellow curve indicating stablecoin reserves on exchanges. It seems since we have reached that area, the stablecoin reserves on exchanges is lifting up, indicating more stablecoins are coming in. Um, but also total stablecoins, so even those who are hitting the derivative exchanges. And the stablecoin supply maintains its downward trend, and that's indicating exits and lack of demand also for stablecoins. That's absolutely not good. So, and the net flow, so here today very flat. Yesterday we had a bigger outflow that was actually related to derivative. We had 7,100 Bitcoin outflows on derivative exchanges, and the same here, the green one, were also more related to derivative than to spot. So we will spend now a little bit of time just taking a look what's happening to these spot exchanges. 22nd, that's today. So you can see uh, stablecoin absolutely flat. Really, that's amazing because that's really rare. But the biggest one was here, and we are talking about 9 million in stablecoins inflow and 8.4 million outflow. That's really nothing. And actually, when we see here some stablecoin activity, that means that they are going to buy some assets, or if they are taking this stablecoin from the spot exchanges, of course, they have sold their bitcoins, for example, or altcoins, and they're taking out some stablecoins. So it's very flat, and that's wondering me a little bit. But the Bitcoin activity, flow activity, is showing some activity. Also nothing big, no big volume indicating here. I mean, the biggest one today was almost 1000 Bitcoin, but that's 11 hours ago. Then almost 700 Bitcoin, that was 6 hours ago, and the last big one was 440 Bitcoins, and that's now 2.5 hours ago. So nothing big also here, and nothing compared like we have seen just in the past with 2400 or yeah 2000 Bitcoin, whatever, maintains a very relatively low volume. So at the moment I wouldn't expect a big move, but everything depends a little bit on SPY and SPX. I will show you that later. So let us see what's happening actually to the future trading related to Bitcoin. Well, first of all, we can see 22nd is here. The funding rate just have started to dump very hard afterwards, just following the price as well. We can see that very well right now, indicating they are demanding more longs than shorts. That matches very well also to other data indicating that longs are rising at the moment. Open interest, what happened to the open interest? Well, as I can see here, um, it declined actually with the price. Of course, they liquidated some of them, closed their contracts, and so on and so forth. And afterwards, when we reached our local bottom, it has started to rise again with a declining funding rate, indicating actually that they have demanded just more shorts than longs. And the leverage ratio is rising again. I can show you here. That's the leverage ratio. And yeah, I mean, people are using high leverage shorts and longs at the moment again, just because they are very sure something is going to happen here. I would be very careful because Bitcoin is following SPX one by one. I have added two more charts here. That's the net flow to stablecoins and derivative exchanges, and also here the Bitcoin. And that's um, very interesting, and for me it makes everything easier to read what's happening here. We see here actually like here, or I need to open that. We can see the how much stablecoins we have received, the net flow, and here, for example, in red, how many stablecoins just have outflowed from the derivative exchanges. That's the net flow. That's just inflow minus outflow. And we can see here it's yeah, indicating at least yesterday night that we have received more stablecoins. It was at the same moment when the price have started to dump, and then yeah, it looks just, I don't know. We had here a positive net flow of 67 million, afterwards minus 56 million, and right now in the last few hours, really 35 million. And we are getting some more stablecoins, but nothing big. Compared to that, the bitcoins are looking very flat at the moment. If we take a look, we have here minus 315 Bitcoin net flow, minus 26 Bitcoin, and here just plus 107 Bitcoin. That's nothing. That's just showing us it. The market maintains. It's like having a break at the moment. It looks strange to me, but yeah, that's what's happening. Let us take a look to the liquidation map, what happened since yesterday, and of course also the blockchain whispers. Yes, this matches very well to what we have seen on our on-chain future chart. Well, I mean, they reduced a lot the long position. As you can see, you remember yesterday I was talking about yeah, volume bars indicating 300 million. All these disappear, they closed and get liquidated. It seems we had a lot of liquidations yesterday. They are accumulating, it seems, high leverage shorts very close to our current price, and that's something where I would say that's very risky. We are talking about here about 40,800. I mean, that's not big anymore. They have started to accumulate here. It's 90 million. It's the maximum. Um, we can see here even still more long vo liquidation volume, and also here starting to the current price. But however, that's not big anymore. So let us take a look to the blockchain whispers, and as mentioned several times, for me the best and interesting indicator is Binance, and they are reducing shorts and placing even more longs. And that is confirmed also a little bit by the total. Of course, we have on Bitfinex always more longs than shorts. So that's the problem of this count, in my opinion. So for me, that's the only count that really is useful. And we had almost 1.4 billion in shorts yesterday. And as you can see, they reduced the volume just by 500 million. So it's, yeah, even if they have started to rise in shorts, it doesn't or it didn't happen related to Binance, it seems. So let us see if we can detect anything useful, at least at entities, but also here, I don't know what's happening to the market at the moment. It looks so quiet, everything. Also here, nothing is happening, nothing is happening. Here, okay, selling or at least reducing balances, but that's it. I mean, that's really nothing. The only one they are a little bit active are those entities, 100 to 1000 Bitcoin. We will see what these guys are doing at the moment. So it's the same color here. And okay, it seems I would say they have started to sell here, but we are talking about really low volume, 300. I mean, we are trading in general, we are trading low volume. It's not big. So, of course, if they want to sell and sell to a good price, it doesn't make sense to dump 1000 Bitcoin at once, right? Because then the price will dump as well. That just makes sense if they want to generate some fear. But as mentioned in different times, already. In my opinion, we are in such kind phase of redistribution. They are trying to sell more spot as possible, using those futures to maintain the price. And so they have to adapt a little bit to the market conditions. And that makes sense. I mean, they are selling here, or at least we had here a fund flow of 330 Bitcoin, 320 Bitcoin, 100 Bitcoin, 200 Bitcoin, here again 285 Bitcoin. Nothing big, at least related to these entities. To the entities where I would say they have, or I did an analysis. I know they have the best trade behavior indicating market makers, or at least to have information advantage. These guys, for example, that was the biggest volume in fund flow, 800 Bitcoin. That's nothing. That's really nothing. Nothing happening today. Absolutely nothing. That was actually the biggest volume. No, the biggest one was here by the entity 10 to 100 Bitcoins, or the small whales, and they had here a fund flow of 800 Bitcoin, and that's it. And that's really, I mean, it's so, well, I think soon I will introduce to my, yeah, to my profile on Twitter, crypto and stocks analyst. Even I'm not really analyzing any stocks, but yes, I'm doing that indirectly. I will show you why. Well, first of all, we can see as usual, I'm not going to repeat always the same, right? It's just aggregated, that's FTX. Aggregated spot just went down with the price a little bit. The price didn't had the same move like the price. Now rising, as we can see here, it's rising and not even, and that's in my opinion not bullish at all. The coin margin contracts declining, and this last move is just related to stablecoin futures and spot aggregated, but not FTX. So that's happening. And the question is, how is that possible and who is the driver? Well, we need to see what's happening here. And I mean, that was a little bit of sarcasm, of course, but I mean, I try to analyze Bitcoin, but it brings me every time back here, and that's SPX, and that's not Bitcoin. But Bitcoin is becoming, or is just copying, the price move of SPX, and that's not the first time they are doing that. But at the moment, very accurate, and you can see what trade bots are doing here on FTX, on Binance, a little bit of Bitfinex as well. It seems they changed my plan. Is that free now? I have derivative here. Oh, let me see. Trade bot. Oh, I have to renew my plan. Okay. However, it's in my opinion these trade boards are one-to-one synchronized with SPX, and that's the only reason why Bitcoin is moving very accurate to what's happening to SPX. The only thing is we can see some gaps. Yeah, it seems that we have a little bit more demand by retailers, for example, on some waste related to Bitcoin than to SPX. But that's it. I mean, they are the market drivers. That's Wall Street using trading bots and yeah, just synchronizing the SPX price action to Bitcoin. I mean, just to it's in my opinion a very smart way if you want to use two different assets and just to manipulate one asset and make double gain. And in my opinion, that's what they are doing. So that's very smart, but not fair. And that's what I don't like. They are fooling retailers with that. Just as mentioned several times, they love to use at the moment. You can see that's not pure driven by futures at the moment. It's a combination with spot and stablecoin futures, and that's why the price is lifting up, but just following the SPX, so driven by trading bots. Coin margin contracts down, while FTX, as one of the main driver in my opinion, also down. They sold very nice. I have tweeted about that since April 1st. They have sold aggregated almost 29,000 Bitcoin. And that's a lot because that's showing you the cumulative volume delta. So that's really big. And you can see that here. I mean that I don't need to spend many words to show you what's happening here, right? I mean, coin margin contracts did a good job. And yeah, you can see that here as well. Their last one was mainly driven by stablecoins and, of course, using also coin margin contracts. But that's it. So we need to see, in my opinion, oops, what's happening here? In my opinion, um, for me at the moment, I'm analyzing a little bit more SPX than Bitcoin. It makes more sense. So that's why I have here my resistance and my support. I was expecting such a candle just to cross that support, and now it flipped to resistance. It's going to be a challenge just to break out again these resistance now at 4370, so 4,370. It will retest. If it fails and it goes down, it's clear Bitcoin will follow. So be very careful then. So let us see what's happening here. As mentioned last time, that's here my CVD, just to remind you that. And you can see that CVD is rising a little bit, but nothing big. However, Coinbase, what's happening there? Nothing. Deribit, what's happening there? Mm, okay, but nothing. But interesting. Okay. However, nothing. Bitstamp, nothing. Binance Spot, nothing. Bitfinex, nothing new at least. We had that already. They have here the big volume. I hope you can see that. That's a low volume wall. They have just put a lot of orders there, but nothing happening there. Just a little bit of spoofing, of course. FTX perp, no new wall. Okay, also nothing. OKEx, Bybit, nothing. BitMEX maintains its wall at 38K. That's very interesting. Would match a little bit with my expectations that we did that move here with SPX, and we have failed sometimes. Now it just went down, and in my opinion, we should retest that and maybe go up again. That's part of my conclusion, so we need to see. Binance futures. So here nothing big, just indicating they are here at 39K waiting. or at least placing a new wall, and that is also very interesting for me because that would match very well to my expectation a retest of 39.2. Bitfinex derivatives, nothing. Oh, well, nothing. I wouldn't say nothing. What the hell is that? Uh, Low volume. That's again such a low volume cluster. I don't get who is doing that. FTX spot, nothing. Oh, we still have these walls here, but that's nothing. Well, that's it. Unfortunately, nothing big.